What an appropriate day to be talking about heart health. So it was just wonderful that we're talking about this today. So today we're here really to begin by recognizing and sincerely thanking several people, elected officials, first for joining us. Supervisor Mike Wasserman and Supervisor Joe Simidian. You'll hear more from them in a minute. Are there any other elected officials here? I want to make sure we honor them. Okay, thank you. I'd also like to thank and honor our speakers, Richard Price, former chief of the San Ramon Fire Department and president of the PulsePoint Foundation, Joe Korngable, vice president of user experience from Workday, and Chief Ken Kemna from the Santa Clara County Fire Department. So to celebrate El Camino Hospital's 50th anniversary, a couple of years ago, we made the decision to invest in the PulsePoint technology and launch it in San Jose. I remember it well. Since then, we've been working really hard to bring the technology also to Santa Clara County, and today we're thrilled to formally recognize that and officially announce the life-saving PulsePoint mobile CPR application that's now available and accessible within all of Santa Clara County. So as an organization, it's really an important part of our mission to bring the latest technology to the community. And so this is just one example of that, how individuals and citizens can really contribute to the overall health of the community. So why is this so important? Every day, nearly 1,000 people die from cardiac arrest, many of them because they just didn't get help fast enough. Although more than 13 million Americans are CPR trained and certified annually, these individuals have no idea that a person at a store, a park, or a nearby public place, that there's actually someone there in sudden cardiac arrest and may need CPR immediately while first responders, emergency medical services are en route. So Chief Price saw an obvious gap to fill and decided to do something about it. He leveraged the innovation that we have here in the Silicon Valley to create an app that would alert bystanders that a person near them requires CPR. And those bystanders, if they happen to have the PulsePoint app, would have gotten notified that there's someone nearby that needs their help, their life-saving help. So at El Camino, again, committed to our community's health, we felt strongly that partnering with the PulsePoint Foundation to provide some of the funding needed to bring Chief Price's vision to life. No pun intended. So I'll let him tell you more about that in a bit, but it's my pleasure to introduce two men whose leadership on health and public safety in Santa Clara County is critical to the quality of life. First, Mike Wasserman, President of the Santa Clara County Board of Supervisors, representing District 1 in the cities of Monte Sereno, Los Gatos, San Jose, Morgan Hill, and Gilroy. He's also the former mayor of Los Gatos, serving on the City Council for 8 years. If you watched President Wasserman's State of the County address last week, you heard his heartfelt story of the 911 call and the quick and expert emergency response from Saratoga Engine 17, which just last year saved his mother's life. Mike and his family understand fully how important fast emergency response can be. Before Mike joins us here, I'm going to also introduce Joe Simidian, who will directly follow him in his remarks. Joe Simidian was our highly respected representative in the California legislature for 12 years, and now serves as a highly respected Santa Clara County supervisor for District 5, including Mountain View, Palo Alto, Los Altos Hills, Cupertino, and Saratoga. Joe chairs the Finance and Government Operations Committee of the Board of Supervisors and is the vice chair of the Health and Hospitals Committee, which has jurisdiction over the county's emergency medical services system. Mike, would you please join us?
Thank you, Tommy. Thank you, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. It's my honor to be here with fellow Supervisor Joe Simidian. And in addition to what Tommy mentioned, I'm very honored this year to be serving as the chair of Public Safety and Justice Committee. Looking around this room, I'm struck by the generous spirit of the talented people who live in the Bay Area. They don't just answer the call, they continually ask themselves, is there a faster, better way to get help to those in need? And thank you, Chief Price, for asking that question of yourself. This app, which is now available, and I almost duplicated. I have your app, Chief, on my phone. It's right there on my phone, and I was almost able to duplicate it on my socks. I came very close, but I was trying. That was the purpose of that. This app, which is now available internationally, was created right here in our backyard. Our residents are playing an important role in saving the lives of people across the world. And I know we all have a lot of pride in not only each of you, but in ourselves for the service we provide. Equally impressive is the level of collaboration that has taken place between city agencies, not-for-profit organizations, and businesses to bring this online service to our community. This is no small feat. The perseverance of Chief Price, Chief Kemna, and the chiefs of the fire department, many of which are here today, thank you gentlemen for being here, and ladies, the Departments of Public Safety have allowed us all to have access to this important tool that one day could save someone's life. And let's not forget the men and women of our emergency response units who are out there each and every day answering the calls and saving lives. The number of calls that we receive in Santa Clara County is absolutely unbelievable. And being a numbers guy, when I broke it down, it equates to one 911 call every 45 seconds of every minute, of every hour, of every day. And as Tommy mentioned, I know firsthand how valuable seconds and response times are. On July 22nd, my mom, bad thing happened with her in her head. County Fire was there, Chief Kemna, your people from the Saratoga station happened to be the first responders. They took her to the hospital. She had emergency brain surgery, and she is now 100% recovered. And one thing Tommy didn't mention, because she's such a modest woman, we're taken to El Camino Hospital, Los Gatos. So thank you all for everyone that participated in saving my mother's life on her birthday. Before I turn it over to Supervisor Simitian, I want to invite all of you to join me today and upload PulsePoint to your Apple or Android phones. And again, it's very, very simple to do. I did this yesterday, Chief. My staff and I, we did this. It's on here. We are all CPR trained, but we are going to take an additional training for the AED device that's at the end of our hall by our elevator to make sure that we are all not only competent, but comfortable in using that machine so that we can save someone's life. And instead of being afraid of someone's life, we're looking forward to the opportunity of doing that. If you don't know CPR, look for a class and learn. The great news is that a few years ago, the American Heart Association introduced a compression-only form of CPR that requires 100 chest compressions per minute to the beat of staying alive. So we learned this, the mouth, the nose, that version is passé, and it's now staying alive, boom, 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 staying alive. We all remember that, okay? Very easy to do, and we are there. Let's all look out for one another across our great community, our great county, and take care of each other. And who knows, we may be in need of services from another one day. Thank you all very much. Happy Valentine's. And now my fellow supervisor, Joe Simitian.
Really, I have to follow that. Mike, I've heard the expression fire engine red before. Now I know what it means. Apparently there's a bid for you to be the supervisor with socks appeal as we go forward. I see the live video. I am not going to perform Staying Alive and with good things in mind. But I do want to thank El Camino and PulsePoint for including our two members of the board today. I think the most important thing we can do with our time this morning is get out the word about why this is so important. And Tommy mentioned earlier the 1,000 people per day who die from sudden cardiac arrest, and it's an alarming statistic. But in my experience, I think people hear the statistics and it's easy to just sort of move past them. And their numbers, they don't mean a lot in a real and human and personal sense. And we have I think, three very compelling stories, and I think some of these folks are here today, from individuals who were trained in CPR, who went to the aid of someone in cardiac arrest, and who performed CPR until emergency responders arrived, and who saved a life with CPR. We know that citizen CPR, sometimes called bystander CPR, works, but each of these stories, it was just happenstance, really, that brought someone trained in CPR to the aid of someone who was in sudden cardiac arrest. So I want to introduce these citizen responders, and I hope they'll be available to talk with the press when we finish up, because each one of them is not a statistic. They're a real human story of how bystander CPR made a difference in saving someone's life. Brent Peterson was playing tennis at a tennis court not too far from here when he heard a commotion on the tennis court and went to investigate. He found a man lying on the ground, not moving or breathing. Mr. Peterson performed CPR, and the man took 2 shallow breaths. Hopeful, Mr. Peterson continued his CPR until the Mountain View Fire Department responders arrived, and I'm told that he doesn't know the man whose life he saved, but would like to meet him, and we're hoping to be able to arrange that sometime soon. Claude Harriman and his wife Denise were home one day when he went into cardiac arrest. Trained in CPR, Denise resuscitated her husband and performed CPR until the EMTs arrived. Claude was transported to the emergency department here at El Camino Hospital, where he recovered. Thanks to his wife's quick response and her training in CPR, Claude had a positive outcome and is doing well today. And the third story involves a typical football Sunday at the Dolan home when Lori Dolan went into cardiac arrest. Her daughter, Lindsay, had learned CPR at high school, but figured it was something she'd never use. She rushed to her mother's side and started CPR. The paramedics arrived and began advanced care, and 18 minutes after her heart had stopped, her heart began beating again. The doctors tell us that without Lindsay's quick actions, her mother would have died or at least been brain damaged. Lori has since received a pacemaker and is doing quite well today. Now, these are just 3 examples, but in each case, as I said, these were happenstance. This was simply good luck that these folks were close by and aware. The point of today's conversation is to imagine just how many more lives could be saved if more people in Santa Clara County knew CPR, and for the first time in the history of CPR could be alerted that someone near them is in immediate need of CPR, or whether there's an automated external defibrillator, the AED, nearby. That's what PulsePoint is designed to do. Essentially, it means that each and every one of us can be a first responder if we simply take advantage of the knowledge that's readily available and the technology that will now be available to every resident of Santa Clara County. Good luck, good fortune, maybe a higher authority had something to do with each of these 3 stories. Today, PulsePoint, El Camino, and this new technology mean that every one of us in the room is and will be a lifesaver if we take that opportunity. Thank you so much, and I appreciate Supervisor Wasserman being here with me today in the 5th Supervisorial District.
Well, it's a great day for PulsePoint, but more importantly, what a great day for Santa Clara County. You know, we've been teaching people CPR in the United States for more than 50 years now, but still, only about a quarter of the time, maybe a third of the time, crews arrive and have CPR in progress. And that's because it takes luck, as the supervisor said. You know, you're in the exact right place at the exact right time, then a life can be saved. And what PulsePoint does is the same thing we do with our firefighters and our paramedics. It puts a radio in their hands. We would never think of having our firefighters only go to calls that they see, or have our paramedics only assist when somebody collapses in front of them. They have radios, and that creates efficiency. We know that our response times are such that we need an effective citizen response. but we leave a lot of that to chance. And today, with smartphones, we enable them with radios, just like we do our professional responders, and we notify them if they're nearby. We take a much more affirmative, direct approach to making sure that those rescuers can arrive within the first few minutes and stop that 10-minute CPR clock and sustain life until the professionals arrive. We know that this is a true partnership and that there's practical limits to how fast our professional responders can arrive. You know, if it takes 8-9 minutes to get on scene and actually get to that patient's side, we know that we're starting in a deep hole. If it was a baseball game and you came up to bat in the first inning and it was 9-0, you'd know you didn't have a very good chance to win. And that's kind of the score when our crews arrive on scene. And we definitely are looking to do that. Now, I'm always presented as the face of PulsePoint, and you've heard my name here, you know, several times, but there's a lot of people that make PulsePoint possible. Without El Camino's financial support that made all of us not have to worry about what it costs to implement here. They definitely deserve a round of applause. Tommy and Chris and the entire staff here. But it takes more than money to do a county-wide scale project like this. It takes leadership, and that leadership in this county came from the fire chiefs, came from Michael's office. The Santa Clara County Fire Chiefs Association really led this project, and without that leadership, it just would not have been possible. And it also takes a solution. It takes a product. And PulsePoint is an all-volunteer organization, and this product was built by Workday, a tech company. You're going to hear from Joe Korngable. Their volunteers are here. I see Raul there and other members of the team, Alex back there. So these are people who work at Workday but volunteer a portion of their time every day to work on the solution. They built an iPhone version, an Android version, all the back-end cloud services, and did that all at no cost to the foundation. So between the financial support of El Camino, the leadership of the chiefs, the products that were built by Workday. And I see Tony there also, Tony Ruggiero, first on scene, so their CEO is here. Tony did all the interfaces and connected PulsePoint to all the 911 systems. No small undertaking in a county. It's a complex county with a lot of 911 centers. And these are our unsung heroes that are in the cubicles and making everything work, but don't get to stand at the podium and don't get to be the face of this product, but they're the ones that make it possible. So this was a big lift by a lot of people who came together to make Santa Clara County a safer and more resilient community and an even better place to live and work. So it's my honor to introduce Joe Korngable from Workday, VP of User Experience, head of Workday Labs, and really the leader of the Workday volunteers. And also Joe's wife was born here at the hospital, so a little local connection. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Price. And yes, it is a true story. I come back to the birthplace of my wife, which is special here on Valentine's Day. I'll start with a quote. John F. Kennedy said, "One person can make a difference, and every person should try." And at Workday, we followed Rich Price's desire to kind of be that one person and make a difference. For the past 3 years, we've been instrumental in following that lead, that difference that can be made by helping Chief Price make PulsePoint, the PulsePoint app, this powerful thing, a reality. Through the dedication of volunteers, like Chief pointed out, some of them are here today in Workday, these amazing engineers that are breaking ground with technology today by their volunteer hours and giving back. PulsePoint has become a labor of love within my organization. And so now, with the rollout of PulsePoint to the entire Santa Clara County, we're seeing a new growth in what can be done with technology. So it is really powerful to see that now our PulsePoint app with this extension extends to more than 500 cities across 17 states in our country. So I'm truly humbled, truly humbled to see the exponential growth that can now happen with what we really are doing with our application. This exponential growth and the ability for one person to now make a difference and help save a life with the PulsePoint app. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ken Kemna, Fire Chief with the Santa Clara County Fire Department, and I'm very proud and very pleased to be a part of this event today. Thank you very much. Before I go any further, I really need to acknowledge a few, well, really a lot of key people that have helped make this happen. First, I'd like to recognize my fellow fire chiefs and their representatives here today for their leadership in making this happen. From the San Jose Fire Department, Fire Chief Ruben Torres, represented today by Battalion Chief Scott Coons. Fire Chief Alan Anderson from the City of Gilroy. Acting Fire Chief Robert Mahovich. Battalion Chief Rick Frawley. Fire Chief Brad Wardle, represented today by John Owen, Battalion Chief. Fire Chief Eric Nickel from Palo Alto, represented today by Deputy Chief Catherine Caprilis. Deputy Chief Steve Druniani. Fire Chief Derek Whitmer from CAL FIRE, Chief Whitmer's here in the back, representing the City of Morgan Hill and South County Fire District. Chief Bill Kelly from the Santa Clara from the Santa Clara City Fire Department, represented by Deputy Chief Augie Wiedemann back here. I also need to recognize Chief Price for his leadership, and really, without whose vision, none of this would have been possible. From the very beginning of this project, I felt humbled by the fact that while we're peers as fire chiefs, that's the kind of vision that really changes the industry and changes the service that we provide as public servants. And really, at its core, that's the vision that is public service. And I'm really proud of you. I also want to thank Workday. As we already know, they're the company that built the PulsePoint app, and the many people here from Workday. Truly, the work that you've done, the app that you've created, will absolutely, undeniably make a difference and save lives. Thank you very, very much. Finally, El Camino Hospital. What can I say? We know that as public servants, as government officials, we want to serve the public. We want to do it as effectively and efficiently as possible. And it is really through this public-private partnership that we can make a difference. Not only make a difference, but do it quickly. The amount of time it took to actually make this happen, I think is something we should all be very, very proud of. And it's really through your generous contribution and through your leadership. So thank you very much. Today's an exciting day for the county's emergency personnel. For the first time, we can activate citizen rescuers to the scene of an emergency. PulsePoint only works if it's adopted, downloaded, and utilized by our citizens. It's only activated in the event of cardiac arrest, but it's a key to survival for so many people. The goals of PulsePoint: reduce the collapse to CPR times by increasing citizen awareness of cardiac events beyond traditional witnessed arrest. Reduce collapse to defibrillation times by increasing awareness of public access AED locations through real-time mapping. In addition to life-saving CPR functionality, the app provides a virtual window into fire and EMS activity in the community, offering a unique opportunity for civic engagement and transparency. Many of you might wonder, can citizen responders be sued for helping? The answer is no. Good Samaritan laws exist to protect those who choose to aid others and who are injured or ill. They are intended to reduce bystander hesitation to assist for fear of being sued or prosecuted for unintentional injury. In Santa Clara County, we have an aging population. With that aging population comes a higher likelihood of sudden cardiac arrest. This app will be key to assisting in the life-saving efforts that will be necessary to ensure that we're there in a timely manner and that CPR is provided efficiently and effectively by bystanders. The fire department asks that all Santa Clara County residents learn CPR, use AEDs, and download the free PulsePoint app from iTunes or the Android market. Help save a life and be alerted by PulsePoint. Thank you.
Well, just thank you so much to our distinguished panel for speaking to this today. I'd like to also recognize a couple of others that have joined us today. Thank you. Cupertino City Councilman Rod Sinks. Thank you for being here. And Mountain View City Council member Margaret Abekoga. Margaret, there you are. So thank you to Chief Kemna and thank you just all so much for coming today to the fire chiefs from around Santa Clara County. Our partnership has really been instrumental, I think, in bringing the life-saving technology to the rest of Santa Clara County. And it's been really important that this has spread to 500 other states rather, and it's also 500 cities in different states. But anyway, it's gone global. So we have examples of where this has really been downloaded globally. And so I think that's just a remarkable progress. So I might suggest that some of us should probably have lunch and think about what's next. What is next? Because I think there's these types of opportunities that have been now translated into results in saving lives. I think there's more that we can do. So on behalf of everyone today, today's speakers, we'll conclude this part of the conference with 3 messages. One is learn CPR, or if you're already trained, refresh your skills, download PulsePoint, and then respond in the time of need or when you're called. So to learn more about the PulsePoint app and to find out where CPR classes are being offered in the community, we encourage you to use the El Camino Hospital website. Thank you for being here.